It is ALS Awareness Month. It's May. It's funny because I actually really didn't know, to be honest with you, that it was going to be ALS Awareness Month. You would think I would know that, but then again, maybe you wouldn't, because it's ALS Awareness Month every month. For me, every day, it's ALS Awareness Day. For this special occasion, I thought I would do something a little bit different. I mean, until I heard the 3 letters ALS told to me on the day that I was diagnosed. Had no idea what it meant. So that means, you know, I consider myself a pretty well-read guy. If I didn't know what it means, there's like a lot of people that don't know what it means of it. And so if you will allow me, I think the most powerful way to get the point across is to hear from somebody who is going through the disease firsthand. And that's me. And I'm one of the lucky ones because I can talk to you. You can hear my voice. I haven't lost my voice yet. I think you'll get a better idea and certainly become more aware of what ALS is once I tell you my story. So here goes. In the winter of 2014, we had like a really bad snow and sleet storm in Greenwich, Connecticut. I was walking to my office to Apple, and I took a bad fall. I thought I was fine. I brushed myself off. I walked into work. Nothing really happened. A couple days later, someone at work mentioned, "Hey man, you're limping." I said, oh really? I hadn't even noticed it. Of course, as soon as he told me I was limping, then I started noticing it every day. So I said, all right, let me get to the doctor. He took x-rays, they took some tests, everything looked fine. They were doing a whole blood workup on me, everything was fine. And they prescribed physical therapy, you know, 3 times a week, you know, at first. And so I was starting to fall quite a bit, actually a lot. So they were like, that's probably a neurological condition. We're gonna send you to a neurologist that specializes in neurological disorders. I said, great. Gone from, you know, a little bit of a limp to falling a lot. And then all of a sudden I was prescribed a cane because I didn't want to fall anymore. And so I was starting to walk around with a cane. But still, even all through this time, through that first year, the neurologist said, and everybody else said, that they thought it was a neuropathy, that it was something that very slowly will get better. I fell down on my plexus, which is on my hip, and went all the way down to my foot, right? So I thought, okay, I gotta wait a year for this to heal. In the meantime, I'm still going to work. I'm walking around in a cane, you know, feeling like an idiot. Well, it just got worse from there. It progressed. And even though I went back to see this neurologist every 3 months in New York City, you know, I wasn't progressing that fast, and they still thought that it was some sort of neuropathy and that it would get better in time. And if it didn't get better, at least it might stay the same. It was like, what's wrong with me? What the heck? One fall and all of a sudden I'm limping all over the place, and I'm getting to the point where I'm falling all the time. About a year in, didn't get much better, and it started to come up and affect my right leg. The occupational therapist that I had been seeing said, you're gonna have to move on to what they call Lofstrand crutches. You know, if anybody remembers seeing me, especially co-workers at work, I had these crutches that went up my arm, and you walk with them, and they're like these little crutches. They look really, really wonderful. Again, I felt awful. I didn't want to be seen with them. I didn't want to be seen by anyone. I didn't want my friends to see me like that. I didn't want my family to see me like that. I was scared. I'm starting to realize that this is probably worse than it is. But after 2 years, I still had no diagnosis. A friend mentioned to me the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. I asked Apple for some short-term disability time to go take care of it, and I went out to Rochester, Minnesota, and I met up with one of the foremost neurologists in the world. That meeting was the start of, really the start of my journey with ALS, or motor neuron disease. My first day there, they put my schedule out for the entire week. It was so comprehensive. I was so impressed, but it was like things I had never done before. But the week was over after all those tests, and it was scary. And I want to thank my mom for being there with me. My mom was with me every step of the way. She flew us out there. She helped me. She was by my side. I was still walking at the time with my loft-strand crutches, but I had to be wheeled around a wheelchair once I got there, and I was very, very shaky. March 28th, 2016, my 53rd birthday, I was to be given the news that was to change my life forever. We sat down in a room, my mother and I, and they said, wait, the doctor will be in shortly. And it was shortly, but as soon as the door opened, not only did my doctor come right in, he was the first one in, but it was the beginning of a parade, and it certainly wasn't the Mardi Gras Day parade, I can tell you that. It was a parade of doctors, fellows, a bunch of nurses, and one other person that I took note of right away as soon as they came in, which was the nurse social worker. And I took note of it because I took note that to be, she was there because I was about to get some bad news. After going through some of the results, we believe you have motor neuron disease. And I didn't know what the fuck motor neuron disease was. I've never heard of it. Motor neurons that communicate to the rest of your body. They flow through and they communicate with your nerves and your muscles, and they send the messages from your brain to the rest of your muscles. So like if I want to open and close my right hand, which is the only thing I can pretty much do with any of my limbs right now, it's the motor neurons that help do that, okay? He told me that I have a condition that these motor neurons, they're weakening and they're slowly dying off. And once they die off, they don't replenish themselves. And because they cannot replenish themselves, you lose the ability to use the different parts of your body. And what I'm trying to tell you is right now is that you have something known as amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS. It was the first time in 2 years that somebody said some doctor had the balls to finally tell me that I had ALS. I'm here, I'm on my 2 years on with my body deteriorating, okay? On my birthday, and I'm being told 3 letters that not one doctor told me in 2 years that I was even to worry about. So I didn't even think about that. He said it's also known as Lou Gehrig disease. Maybe you've heard of that. I said, well, I heard the speech, He said, well, look, I'm going to give it to you straight. There is no cure and there is no treatment, but I can't even tell you I'm 100% sure that you have it because there is no test, but we've given you every single test that we could, and we know when we see it. And I'm going to tell you that the fall you took, it was not caused by the cold rain and snow. It was caused of the weakening already of something inside my body called ALS that made my foot and my leg not strong enough to hold me up when a breeze came by and it was slick and wet on the ground. And that caused that fall that day. And from that moment on, when he told me I had ALS, and my mom yelled out in the street and started to cry, I didn't know how to feel. I was upset. I was surprised. I actually didn't expect a terminal diagnosis. And so I was shocked. And I said, okay, doc, tell me what this means. Okay, and please be honest. I need to know what I'm up against. I have 2 young children. You know, I have too much more to do with my life. Tell me what I'm up against. And he said, Rich, most ALS patients live 2 to 3 years with this condition. Less than 85% make it to 5 years. I said, oh, I don't remember. I think the first thing I said, I think I was like, oh, well, I got to start to get my house in order now, right? He said, slow down, no. It's not going to happen today. It's not going to happen tomorrow. That's not how it works. ALS is a progressive disease, and everybody gets it. Who gets it progresses differently. You may be a slow progressor. You still have full use of my arms, which at that point I did. You still could walk around with those crutches that I did, even though that was very difficult. I would soon lose the use of my legs, but at that point I still had it. And he said, I think you're a slow progressor. I think you're going to be around for a while. And that was hard to hear. But, you know, when you're told you have a death sentence, you can't be prepared for that. And I wasn't. And I was very grateful the way he told me, and, you know, and he explained to me that, you know, there are people that have lived 10, 20, 25 years. You know, he started talking about Stephen Hawking, 50 years. You know, he goes, you never know. You could live a long time, you know. You know, be one of those. We have patients in here that have had it 25 years. But this is ALS Awareness Month, and I'm making you aware. People that get an ALS diagnosis are told that they have 2 to 3 years and 5 at the outmost to live. It's a lot to grasp. It's a lot to take hold of and to wrap your arms around, you know? I got a kid just about to go to college. I got a kid in high school in 10th grade. I have work. I want to see these kids graduate. I want to see these kids go to college. I want to see her get into college. I want to see her get married. I want grandkids. I have relationships to build up on. Why me? You know, why me? That's what I thought. I told the doctor, I want you to be 100% sure. So I said, well, what can we do? They said, well, we're going to schedule you for surgery on Monday. I'm like, great, I'm going to spend my birthday weekend in snowy Rochester, Minnesota, where there's nothing to do. You know, a whole 2 days of knowing that I just got told I'm about to die pretty soon, and I'm going to get surgery on Monday. So they took a biopsy of my nerve. Well, they were very, very thorough, and now I knew I was 100% part of the community of ALS patients. As far as awareness goes, somebody is diagnosed with ALS every 90 minutes. Somebody dies of ALS every 90 minutes. When I tell the story, I get emotional, you know, I do. But if people who know me and who see me and who watch my blog now, you know, you've seen that I've gone through since that day. On my 53rd birthday, you know, I didn't think I was going to be seeing my 55th birthday, let alone seeing it with Billy Joel and with my kids, you know, and seeing my daughters. I got to see my daughter's Sweet 16. I got to see my son graduate high school. I got to see him get into a great college and start to do great things at that college. I got to see my daughter turn 18. I get to go to her high school graduation. She just picked a college just last week, you know, and I'm into my 5th year since the onset of this terrible disease. And you know what? I am not going anywhere soon, okay? This is what I need everybody out there to know. This is a serious fucking disease, and this kills 100% of the people that get it. But I truly believe that if you could get past that anger and that madness and the grieving stage, and if you could get through it and have a positive attitude and try to help others, you know what? I feel it's going to fuel you to move on and to keep going. And we will keep going until we find a cure. And I'll do everything in my goddamn power to put my voice out there while I still have one, to get a cure for this terrible, terrible disease. I look around, I go to the ALS clinic every 3 months, and I see people there that their whole body is a shell. They can't move anything, maybe a digit on their fingers. They can't talk, because what this disease does is it starts to deteriorate, and the motor neurons die off, and it starts on one limb and it goes to the other limbs. And for me right now, it has taken my legs. I haven't had use of my legs in the past year. I go around in my little wheelchair, a power wheelchair now. It's taken my left hand. I can no longer use my left hand. I can move my fingers a little bit. I can't, this just drops. I have use still of my right hand. I have about 75%. That's good news. I have use of my right hand. But that's gonna go soon too. And I'm telling you this story, and I'm bravely trying to tell this story. Even though maybe I can look okay, and things are going okay, but once this arm goes, and once it goes to the chest, and once it goes to the lungs and the respiratory system, and that's how people with ALS die. They die from not being able to breathe. And the only way you could survive at that particular point is to get a tracheotomy and be put on a breathing machine. And I'm not going to share what my decision has been as far as going that route. But this disease takes away your whole body. It leaves your mind 100% intact. It leaves your eyes 100% intact. That's the blessing and the curse, you know? Someone has to take care of me. You know, someone has to be a caregiver and help me do things. I am not just shutting this away and trying to make believe it's not going to happen to me. I have faith that I am going to keep on going. I have a strong voice. My breathing is still good. I can still feed myself. I can still eat. Everything else seems to be working fine. I got one good hand. I can still write with it, pick up a spoon with it, do other things with it, you know? Do you know it takes over $200,000 a year to live with this disease? You know, I'm on a medication right now that costs over $150,000 a year. It took me a while, but I had to go on Medicare and Medicaid. That's horrible. I'm 55. I had to use every single bit of my savings, my 401k, my stocks that I've saved up through Apple and AT&T and all the companies I worked through over the years. I had to spend that down to make myself poor, to be able to get Medicare and Medicaid. It's called the spend down. I'm not even going to try to make you understand it, but it's like I had to basically poor so that I could get services paid for me that there's no way I could have afforded. So I have a lot of pride, you know. That was a big one to have to get over. Not walking, going in this wheelchair. That was a big one to have to get over. Not being able to use my hands and need help possibly 24 hours. Those are big ones. And this is me. There's other people like me. And this is why I tell you my story. I believe I'm going to live a long time, okay? I really do. But I am progressing. And I lose something every day, a little bit of something, maybe just a little bit, maybe it's a little movement of my finger. But What I haven't lost is my mind and my attitude and my sheer will to carry on and to do good and to be an advocate for this disease and to be someone that other people can come to. And I've accepted 2 speaking engagements already. I'm trying to get more exposure with this blog. And this is the absolute most that I've talked about my story. And believe me, I've left a lot out, but I think I've told enough to give you guys an idea of what this person, me, what I've gone through. I'm happy to make myself vulnerable. You see this? Yeah, it's kind of, I laugh at it too. I'm like, I gotta frickin' wear one of these I've fallen and I can't get up things because I'm here alone right now. But you know what? I have a good life too. I don't give a fuck. I'm telling you, I have bad days, and when I have bad days, I get angry, and you should get angry. But you know what? I have good days too, and I enjoy good things too. And you're going to see that mostly from me in this blog. But if you've taken this half hour to listen to this rant, and not really a rant, but it's just real. It's raw, it's real, it's unedited, I'm unscripted, and it's just because this is ALS Awareness Month. I need to make people aware of what's going on with me. I've never done that yet, unless you're a really good friend or your family. All my family is behind me. My ex-wife, Laura McCabe, we're back together, and she's my caregiver. She's behind me. She sees me every day. It kills her to see how much I've progressed every day. My kids, they're there with me every day. My care team, my doctors, the ALS Association, Connecticut chapter, all the other organizations that help me. I've got that. But I want you to know that I've got you too. Anyone else listening out there who needs some support. And I don't care if it's ALS or if it's breast cancer or if it's anything else. Come talk to me because I can relate to you, okay? That is my story. We are one of the same. We are on the same team. I've said it before, I said it again. If you are listening to this, you are on my team. If you are anywhere, a friend of mine, a family, you are on my team. If you are on my doctor team and my patient care team, you are on Team Rich. And you know what? We are going to be on Team ALS this month, next month, and every goddamn month after that until there is a cure, okay? Because there is going to be one. And I am open to everyone and anyone that wants to talk to me and be there for me. Because there's a lot of awesomeness in this life left to be had. So go grab it now.